What's more important than knowing how to get that internship is knowing how you're going to get that internship. Notice the difference? Today's topic is going to be on planning and execution. Damn it. Welcome to part 6, planning and execution. One of my mentors at Google told me that plans are nothing. Planning is everything. This isn't a quote that he came up with, and he's actually quoting someone else. So I'm quoting my mentor who's quoting someone else. But the gist of it is that the act of planning is more important than the plans themselves. Now, I personally believe that planning and plans are very important, and this is why. So first of all, through the act of planning, you're able to think about what you're trying to do, think about how you're going to do it, and through that you can realize a lot of things before you actually do anything. I think that planning also gives you a really good sense of control of your life and what you're trying to do. And the reason why planning gives you control is that if you want to do something, there are a lot of ways to do it. There are a lot of paths, I guess. And through the act of thinking about how to do something and choosing what to do and choosing a path, that's control. You're figuring out what's the best path you can take to get to where you want. A third reason why planning is very important is because you can figure out a really efficient way to get to where you want. You can do your research and figure out what are some good things to do and what are some things that you shouldn't do. If you do a lot of planning, then you can potentially not do a lot of things that can waste a lot of your time. And then the fourth and final reason why I think planning is very important is because it's a really good tool of feedback, to get feedback. As you're executing the plan and you're taking action, and following your plan, you can sort of realize if you're on the right path or you've kind of strayed. So if you kind of strayed and you're like, oh shoot, this is my plan, but this is what I'm actually doing, and I should get back to the plan, then you have something to follow and get back to. Whereas if you don't have a plan, you're kind of just going all over the place and not taking the most straight path to get to where you want. And plans are very dynamic, so as you're taking action, you might realize that, I should be doing this differently, or this is a better way to do it. And if you realize that, then just change your plan and relish in the fact that you're taking action to get to where you want. And not just taking action, but taking action to take the best action. Yeah. Anyway, so that's why planning is pretty important. Now I'm going to tell you how I plan. This is I started planning when I first wanted to get good at badminton, and that sort of carried over to when I wanted to get better at CS. And I tried a lot of things, and this is basically the method that I found works best for me, and it's Evernote and Google Calendar. So let's get started. Hey everyone, before we jump into how I plan with Google Calendar and Evernote, I just want to reiterate why I love to plan so much and why I think planning is such a great thing. It can save you a lot of time and stuff like that. So first of all, it is one of my philosophies in life that there are a lot of things I want to do, but only a limited amount of time that I get to do them. So it's pretty much impossible for me to go after every one of my interests. So I don't expect myself to achieve all of my interests, but I do expect myself to know the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing and know the reasons why I'm not doing what I'm not doing, so that later on I won't look back and be like, oh shoot, I wish I did that thing, because I would know I didn't do that thing because I wanted to achieve the other thing. So for me, in college, I didn't really hang out with a lot of my friends. I didn't go to that many clubs, and I pretty much didn't go to any parties. And looking back, that might be something that I could have done more, but it's not something I regret, because I chose to sacrifice my social, or at least part of my social life, in order to have more time to build my computer science skills. And with all the internships I have now, I'm really glad that I chose what I did, because I think I made the best decision I could have made. So that's the first reason why planning is so good, because it lets you sort of prioritize the things in your life and sort of lay everything out and make the best decision. Now, number two, in a way, it's like you're designing your life. So for me, I love the thought of just laying everything out and then choosing what I want to do, and that goes back to the sense of control that I get. After choosing what I want, I get to think about how I get to achieve that goal. And by doing so, after having a plan, an action plan, I have an idea of how I'm going to get to that goal. And by doing so, I have this feeling that this is possible. If I execute this plan, I can see that I'm going to achieve this goal. And after having this action plan, actually executing on that action plan, and that's very important. You have a plan, you need to take action and actually execute and follow through on it. If you're able to do that, and you'll most likely start to see results, then getting those results, it's like gratification. And you begin to realize, oh shoot, this is actually working. And that's going to motivate you even more to aim for greater heights. So I drew a little picture. So over here, oh shit, it's upside down. Goals, you start with your goal, right? Then from the goals you make a plan, then you take action, and then you get results. And with results, you get happy because you achieved your results, which correlate with your goals. And when you're happy, it makes you want to keep going and make more goals and make more plans and take more action and be more happy, and then it's an upward spiral. Yeah. Alright, that's enough talking. Let's see how I plan with Google Calendar and Evernote. Okay, so the first step is to brainstorm. We want to figure out what we actually want to do, what our priorities are, and from that we can make our goals. So first of all, we make a new note. Let's call this priorities or brainstorm. And then we just think about what we want to do. For me, I like to sing. I'm interested in badminton. I like to play games. I should hike. I should go exercise / gym. I want to learn how to cook. Then I want to do computer science. And maybe in computer science, I want to do side projects, and I want to get an internship. So now that we have some priorities, we have to think about which ones are more important and urgent and which ones can wait. Oh, I'm also interested in dating / girls. So, so now that you have your list of interests, it's very important to prioritize and figure out what you want to do in this quarter. So 2 years ago, I decided that I wanted an internship. So that was my first biggest priority. I still wanted to get by in school and get okay grades. If I had time, I would try to improve my singing, and if the right girl came along, I wouldn't mind dating. So this is just step one, just brainstorming your interests, and then afterwards choosing the things that you want to focus on. Like I said earlier, you're going to have a limited amount of time and a lot of interests, and it's better to have a shorter list of interests so you can put more time into them, because to get good at something, you need to put in a lot of time. So you can apply this method to any skill you want to get better at, but since this series is on how to get an internship, the rest of this segment is also going to be geared around how I would plan, or how I did plan when I wanted to get a big internship. Alright, so now that you have your list of priorities, let's go to step 2. Okay, so the next step is figuring out how to reach those goals, aka making a plan. So so we're just going to focus solely on planning to get an internship. Okay, so first of all, you have to think about what kind of skills do you need in order to get this goal. In order to get a big internship, you would need to first have that logical reasoning. Secondly, be able to convey your thoughts. So now that you know what skills you need, how do you get them, right? So you need to know the tools available. Now, this is where you do research. So 2 years ago when I was doing this, I thought I would need to read some books and go on different coding sites. So I read Programming Pearls, I think the book was called Algorithm Design, an ACM book. And then I also wanted to go look at every interview practice site. So there was Spodge.com, HackerRank, and LeetCode. And then what I realized afterwards was I didn't need any of this, and I also didn't need this. And I pretty much only needed LeetCode and HackerRank. I'm saving you the time by just telling you that that's all you need. And yeah, so definitely still do your own research and find out what's out there, and then find the tools that you think would be best suited for your needs. So now that you sort of like know the tools, now you have to know how to use those tools. So I can definitely tell you how I would use LeetCode. So for LeetCode, let's say they have a lot of problems. Well, you first want to list out all the problems, or different types of problems, like arrays, strings, hash maps, dynamic programming, binary search is a really big one, trees, etc. After you have all of this, then you have a better idea of like the things you need to tackle. And then when you're making your schedule, you want to make sure that you go through all of these concepts. Oh yeah, and then so that's logical reasoning, and then conveying your thoughts. I can get better at this by doing mock interviews or just talking on my own when coding. And then you can have notes like things to be aware of / keep in mind. Don't compile too much. Basically, this is your ThinkPad, and you don't have to be too strict on it. It's more of a brainstorming activity to really flesh out what you want to do. And that's pretty much part 2. After knowing what to do, now you have to actually fit it into your schedule, and that's part 3. Okay, so the third part is fitting it into your schedule. Scheduling. So I usually make a note and I call it like fall quarter 2015 goals. And what I do is, for me, I like to put like the general focus or general idea of this quarter. And the focus I had before was focus, because I tend to get sidetracked. Quality of practice is more important than quantity. Then I list the priorities that I set in the first exercise. So get an internship at the Big 4, learn a lot in class, get good at singing, and meet more girls. Then what I do is I first write down all the months in the quarter. So September, October, November. After that, I go through every week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And next to the weeks, I would put a label if like something important is happening that week. Like this week I had finals. I think my second week I had the job fair. Maybe this week start on LeetCode. Oh shit. Okay, so for part 2 there's also books. A good tool is cracking the coding interview. Yeah. Anyway, so Okay, so right now I'm making the schedule for fall quarter 2015, but this is actually interview season. So ideally you would want to be preparing for interviews during summer of whatever year. So I'm going to pull up my actual schedule from summer 2015 and fall 2015. So you can see how I actually planned before I got all these internships. Okay, so over the summer, I guess my first priority was singing, ACM, making my own website, making it a side project, and then trying to get an internship. Okay, I also did this pledge thing or something. So the first week I wanted to do stand for iOS, reading a book and doing Spodge. Second week I did this. Third week I did this. Third and fourth week. Then I started to change. So as you can see, every week I sort of had a different thing that I was doing, or every week I assigned that week something to do. And towards the end, published that shit. I started being more organized. So besides just having a label of what I wanted to do, I actually broke it down. I was like, okay, I'm going to do HackerRank and do some algorithms. 245 was like all the algorithms they had, and at first this would be 0 out of 245, but as I kept doing it, I would update it. So I broke that down and was like, okay, well, there are warm-up questions, implementation problems, and string problems. And yeah, so then I wanted to do all of this within that week, and all of this within that week. And then, oh gosh, yeah, I did not do all of that. So I actually only did HackerRank over the summer. And then down here I wrote some notes, so I'm stuck for over an hour instead of wasting time. I should look up the solution. Yeah, I even, in the future, I was like, maybe I'll try Topcoder. Didn't do that. So yeah, this is what I did over the summer. As you can see, I broke down the months by weeks, and then I broke down the weeks by what I wanted to do that week. And it broke it down into actionable tasks. Let's look at my fall quarter 2015 goals. So for fall, I did the focus. These were my goals. Then broke it down by month, broke it down by week, and every week I sort of wrote down what I wanted to do in this week. I laid it all out, and each one of these aren't like really big chunks. Since it was school, I had to do homework, coding challenge, just scrolling through it. No leak code this week because see, like I had midterms. I don't know. So these headers act like labels for that week. Yeah, so I had a lot on my plate that quarter, but I got through, and one of the reasons I got through was because I planned out everything and knew exactly what I had to do that week, so I wasn't too overwhelmed. So this is how you take your plan and actually break it down, and figure out what you want to do that week. Now, after you have all of this, all these actionable tasks, the next step is to actually put it into Google Calendar. Okay, so now I'm going to port the schedule I had earlier onto this blank week. Now, first of all, I would schedule my wake up time. So I'll create this, I'll have to do events, and I'll repeat it, let's say, for daily, sometimes. Then, since I wanted to get better at singing, I will sing every morning for an hour. And let's just also make this 7 for now. Then, I'm gonna have to make my class schedule. So CSC 1:30 class schedule. Oops. Event. This was on Wednesday, Friday, and Wednesday, time, so 3%, but I'm just going to do it for a week. And I'm going to repeat this for all my classes. Okay, so now that I have my class schedule, I'm going to go through my list and just put all of those to-do tasks. So lead code, lead code is 1, lead code 2, lead code 3, lead code 4, lead code 5. Let's see. Okay, yeah, you get the point. Then I might have like homework. Right, and then just... Okay, so let's say all of this is filled out, and honestly, at the very beginning of the week, when I fill out my schedule, most of it is all colored. But this is not what I expect to follow. This is like the most ideal week. If things come up, I shift things around. If I get lazy, then I shift things around, and at the end of the day, there's going to be more white space. But what this allows me to do is I have an idea of everything I have to do in this week, and I also have an idea of what's coming up and what deadlines are coming up. So if like CSC 101 homework due, if that's due on Thursday, I have to do this no matter what before Thursday. And basically this leaves no more surprises. Now let's actually see what the actual week was like. So this is actually what happened that week. As you can see, I did some planning, I did some homework, and you can see like this white space. So I also had a hackathon that week. Basically, and see, look, I didn't sing every night, and I didn't sing like an hour on Tuesday. But what is going on here? So every week I would put all my to-dos on my calendar, and as I finish these to-dos, I would check them off over here. And as I check them off, that's like the result I was talking about. It makes me feel like, oh shit, I made this plan and I'm actually following through on it. And yeah, you just follow the schedule, and this is going to basically help you stay on track and eventually help you achieve the goals that you want. So as you can see, I kept doing interview prep, and then lots of interviews prep. Oh, this is finals week. And Yelp interviews over here. So yeah, just doing this for a whole summer, and I'll show you my summer. So yeah, just like lots of programming. I went to SF that week. Anyway, so just lots of coding practice, making my website, HackerRank. And in the end, all my hard work paid off because, as you already know, I got my internships and I was happy. So that is my method on brainstorming in Evernote, making my plan, making actionable steps, and then putting those actionable steps into my Google Calendar.